What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of The Dwarves. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we make our way... Well, there's a couple of things that we missed out on, but I don't think I want to go that far back in order to make it happen. There's enemies attacking Calmstead at the moment, but it'll take us so long to get down there. I don't think I care anymore. Let's keep moving. I think I'm going to probably follow this caravan all the way into whatever this town is right here. What's this little village? Fallowston.
You arrive at a small, bustling village. One thing is clearly missing from the lively scene: the sound of metal on metal from the village smithy that would normally be heard above everything else at this time of day. A dour, grim-looking man is sitting in front of the forge with his right arm in a sling. His expression brightens as he sees you, and he jumps to his feet.
Dear Dwarves, could I interest you in helping me in my workshop for a day?
The man's expression is somewhere between desperation and hope. As you don't answer immediately, he continues.
You will, of course, be royally rewarded for your work. I can offer you 100 gold pieces.
Well, damn, no wonder you got financial problems. Only one day's work. How you trying to pay that much money? We can help.
I'll help you. I worked in a forge for a while.
You modestly conceal that in this case, a while means almost a whole human lifetime. A little later, you are standing in the workshop, examining the smith's inferior tools, while he fires up the forge and prepares everything for the job as well as he can with just one good arm. You weren't able to persuade the twins to help you. As warriors, they'd rather go hunting, Boindil declared. But you think it's more probable that you'll find them drinking beer. But you don't care. You're excited about being able to smith again after such a long time. Hours later, you have forgotten everything around you. The heat of the forge, the sweat on your warm skin, the play of the flames. You're in your element and work as if in a trance. The smith left the workshop ages ago with a satisfied grin on his face.
Oi, I'm talking to you.
You look up in surprise. Everything but the beating of the hammer had ceased to exist, and you didn't notice that someone has come in.
Can you do it?
You immediately dislike the middle-aged man. He sounds you out so doggedly with his light grey eyes that it feels as though he wants to look right through you and into your deepest thoughts. The man points to two horses.
Those two, in 1 hour.
Sure?
These two need shoeing. Oh, no problem.
The man doesn't look convinced, but you get to work with confidence after examining the horses' hooves. Two more armed men are standing next to the horses, sizing you up. You concentrate on the work. The only sound you hear is the melodic beat of the hammer against the anvil. You keep track of the armed men out of the corner of your eyes. You suspect they are mercenaries. While you're fitting the third horseshoe, another armed man enters the forge and speaks in hushed tones with the leader of the group.
He's the only one here.
The man nods in your direction, and you quickly shift your attention back to the work. You play it cool and complete the work. As the leader of the mercenaries pays you, you have the feeling that he is trying to transfix you with his eyes. The men leave the workshop without a word.
So, you're mercenaries, I take it?
You're only trying to engage in conversation, but the man looks at you incredulously, as if he didn't expect dwarves to be able to talk.
Something like that.
Got lots of work? Oh, do you know anything about the armies of orcs from the south?
We can't complain.
The man's tone makes it clear that the conversation has ended here. You carry out the work in silence. As the leader of the mercenaries pays you, you have the feeling that he is trying to transfix you with his eyes. The men leave the workshop without a word.
Let's concentrate on the rest of our work.
You ignore the horsemen and concentrate on your work. When you tell the twins about your visitors later on, they know exactly who you're talking about. They encountered them on the way back from hunting. You spend the night in the smith's house and continue on your way with your well-earned reward the next morning.
If you paid us 100, how much money did this dude make, though? That's why I would have been like, percentage-wise, I'd have been like 50-50, son. I'm doing all the work, and I'm doing you a favor. 50-50. That's it. How much did he make off of our 100 gold's worth of work, though? That's what you always got to ask. There's a dwarf merchant. He's selling dwarves. That's not very nice.
In the early evening, you make an unusual discovery on the side of the road. A colourful trader's wagon has been carelessly abandoned, with not a soul in sight.
I don't like the look of this one bit, Boindil. You take a look around there. I'll stay on this side. Tungdil, you check the surrounding area, and be careful.
Let's examine our surroundings.
You scan the road and the woods on both sides. Apart from the twins who are fighting their way through the undergrowth within earshot, you can't hear or see anyone. The wagon itself isn't damaged, nor is the drawbar, but the belts and leashes that normally hold the draft animals have been cut clean through. You can see a lot of tracks in the mud around the wagon, hoof prints and footprints from humans in heavy boots. At least half a dozen long ones must have approached the wagon from the woods on both sides.
You never want to be attacked by a long one out of the woods.
The dwindling daylight provides little light inside the wagon. It smells of leather, spices, and candles. And there's another smell in the air, which you can't quite place. It reminds you of your forge in Lot Yonan's vaults, but different. It is messy, but no more so than you would expect from a single dwarf. The bed is rumpled, and there are tools and leftover materials piled up on the little workbench. There are several cupboards hanging on the right-hand wall. At the end of the wagon, there's a large wardrobe, and next to the door on the left is a heavy wooden chest with rusty metal hinges.
Let's look at the chest.
As you try to lift the lid of the chest, you realize that the lock has been broken out of the wood. You open the lid and look inside. Amongst clothes and some empty boxes, you find a loot case and a beautiful loot of the kind that humans build, as well as a bag of bread and cured meat.
Whenever I get loot, I always try to put it in my loot case. We're not thieves.
You reach for the knob of the wardrobe and then stop. The rug in front of the wardrobe squelches as you step on it, as if you had stepped in a puddle. You try to work out what has soaked the rug, when suddenly the door of the wardrobe springs open and something bounces into you. You take a step back, and the realization of what hit you makes you take two more. Lying on the floor in front of you is the body of a dwarf, headless. His head has been cut clean from his neck. The dwarf is wearing clothes that look more like human robes and bears no coat of arms that would identify his kingdom. You didn't know him, but no one deserves to die like this.
All right, look at the corpse.
His head is being cut off cleanly, probably with a sharp blade. A quick glance in the wardrobe confirms what you already suspect. The dwarf's head is nowhere to be seen. The smaller cupboards are piled high with a multitude of tins and boxes, all filled with odds and ends that the trader offered for sale to customers on his trips. Nothing of real interest.
All right, well, if dude's dead, we might as well take what's
You open
here.
the wooden chest. You take the loot. You can't play. You take the bread and the cured meat. The extra provisions should keep you going for a few days.
Probably gonna get bished out by the twins, but oh well.
You give a short, sharp whistle, and the twins come running at the double. You tell them what you found.
A group of horsemen with heavy boots has been here. I found Mort in the wagon, beheaded. I have a hunch that the mercenaries from Fallow Rock have something to do with this.
Wretched dwarf killers!
You can tell that Boindil wants revenge and can understand his feelings well. You wrap the body in linen, dig a hole in the woods, and place the body in it. You lay a couple of his tools and other personal belongings you found in the wagon next to him. You wish there was more you could do for him. You continue on your journey in gloomy spirits.
Filthy dwarf killers. That's kind of crazy that it, like, stayed there. I thought we were like, that wagon was moving a little bit ago. And so I thought that it was just going to be around. A precious loot that should be worth a lot to the connoisseur. Okay, cool. Got a little bit of extra food, too, although I'm sure it's not very much. Passive. As health below, he gains damages on bonus. Okay. Sweet.
You come across an orchard next to a farmstead and surrounded by several fields of wheat. You don't see anyone working in the fields, but there's a young man lying under an apple tree. He has his legs crossed and a straw hat is covering his face.
This dude's dead. There ain't no way this dude's alive.
Excuse me, but we're looking for a group of mercenaries. Have they passed by here?
The young man is startled. He must have nodded off. He looks around anxiously. When he sees you, the fear disappears from his face and is replaced by curiosity. It seems to you that the man is sizing you up.
And if I answer, what's in it for me?
Your face will stay unbeaten to a pulp?
You draw your axe, and a moment later, the twins do the same. They seem to realize what your plan is.
We don't have much time. Speak.
The man glares at you angrily. He toys with the idea of throwing something at your head, but finally responds with demonstrative composure. Northwards. They rode northwards, he says. Boindil grins, and you two are satisfied with your bully boy tactics. You put your axes away and continue on your journey, while the young man watches you with a defiant air.
No, we don't leave. We need to go back and work this kid. Nobody eyeballs me like that. I got weapons, son. I just woke you up from a nap without letting you know that I was coming. I'm like a ghost. I'm like a shadow of a ninja. You don't even know me like that. This dwarf low, he rides real slow through your neighborhood. And that is Greenglen? Oh, Clintel. This one up here must be Greenglade then. Okay. Alright, well, let's see what's going on in Clintel.
The first thing you notice as you enter the village of Clintel is how quiet it is. There is hardly a soul in the streets, and the few people you do see immediately disappear into their houses as you get closer. Boindil draws his axes, and Boendal his raven's beak.
Something's not quite right here. Be alert.
You walk on until you reach the village square. Without a word, men enter the square from the left and the right, cutting off your way. You recognize the leader of the group of mercenaries, looking you over with a satisfied expression. Standing next to him is a frail man with greying hair, who doesn't seem able to cope with the situation. He tries several times to say something, but can't find the right words. Before you have the chance to say anything, the leader of the men calls loudly so that they can all hear.
That's them. They're the ones who murdered the poor travelling trader Mort.
Murderers? Come here, dwarf killer! Are you denying your terrible deed? You were seen murdering poor old Mort, one of your kind in cold blood.
The old man points unnecessarily to the leader of the mercenaries.
So you saw us do it, didn't intervene, and then set us up a trap a few days later in the middle of nowhere?
So apparently, you saw us committing murder, but you didn't intervene? And then you overtook us and only set a trap for us now, and here, several days' journey from the place where it happened. Your story doesn't seem to make much sense.
We knew that the good people of Clintel would stand by us in confronting you. Mort was well known and respected around here.
But how did you know that we would come to Clintel of all places? If you were really tracking us, that wouldn't have been possible. But if you, on the other hand, were the ones being tracked, then it would have been easy for you to steer us into this trap.
He does have a point, Medarin. Why did you?
The village elder stops mid-sentence as the leader of the mercenaries draws his sword. The village elder turns from the mercenary to look at you, and then gives his men a signal to withdraw.
I like to imagine that the signal was kind of like a little breakdance thing. He was like, bop, chicka da ba, and did like a little pop and lock thing. That was the signal for everybody to withdraw. He wanted to be a dancer earlier on in life, but he ended up the magistrate. I fear no archers. Oh, the health potions can only go on one person? Oh, they can go... Oh. So that gives you access to the full supply, but potions are... Ah. So potions are a supplementary item that take up the same slot as the talismans. Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's have a little look-see here. There are some individuals over there that don't appear to be enemies. We've got some militiamen over here, though. It's time to smack them up, bash them up. You know what I'm saying? Smash them up, bash them up, let them have it up. Ooh, that guy took a hit right there. Damn, this dude don't give a shit. No, don't do that. Here, you guys go over there. Somebody gonna need to jump in over here, though. And maybe buy us like a little bit of range. Yeah, you go ahead and use that because you're getting tooled on pretty hard. There you go. Maybe it's just the leader that's stiff like that. The rest of them seem to be going down pretty easily. Here, you guys jump into combat. Number 1. Knock his ass down. Maybe knock his ass down too. I should probably pop that thing right there. You, sir, I believe he's going to need help, so please get him off of him. And then you get over here. There we go. They seem to have trouble with pathfinding every now and again. But that's the only thing that I've noticed so far. And that's 5 of 15 mercenaries? Damn, there's a bunch of these sumbitches in here. Oh, there's a bunch over there, too. Alright, well, let's create a clear front first, so that nobody's sneaking in behind us. We'll make our way up the hill here. Right, Bowendahl, get over here. Smack-a-lack-a-dang-dong, that guy. You give him a little bit of the lovin'. And if we can, just cleave your way through everybody. God, that ability's so good. It's so good. He's down. There's a nice little tap right there. Nice little love tap. Oh, he missed that one. That's a really good ability, though. That's a hype ability. That thing does work. Is there anywhere else that I can, like, grab loot from? Like, can I go through houses or anything like that? Well, I mean, it's kind of a dick move. But, hey, these people let these guys ambush me in the middle of their town. I'm going to let Boindil regenerate first for a little bit. Can you change items once you're in here? Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably like deployment. Once you've done it, you've done it. You can't really do much with it. There's a whole bunch of these bastards over here. Probably don't put, here, you guys fall back. You guys fall back. We'll let Bowendahl go in first, since he's the biggest and the beefiest. And you guys feel free to go after who you want to go after. I don't really mind. That guy will go down in just a minute. You get him. You smack him. There it is. Give me some of them good hits. I think the big secret here is just to eliminate enemies as rapidly as possible before they have a time to get settled. Because honestly, when you're dropping blows on people like this, they go down real quick. You just gotta focus fire and take them out real fast so that they don't have you outnumbered and they aren't just like whittling on you.
The last of the mercenaries falls to the ground, but Boindil is still in the frenzy of battle. You and Bowendahl have to physically restrain him until he comes to his senses. Otherwise, you'd have stormed the houses to find more adversaries. You walk up to the body of the mercenaries' leader and search his pockets. You soon find something. A letter.
An anonymous client seeks dwarf skulls cleanly cut, shorn, and put into jars with honey. 1,000 gold coins will be paid for each skull. Khan. Bounty Hunters Guild Master.
That's, bounty hunters. Hunting for dwarves. Despicable.
You hold the letter aloft so that everyone can see it.
Look, citizens of Clintel, proof that these men are the killers. They are bounty hunters hunting for dwarves.
The village elder comes out of one of the houses, flanked by other villagers. You ignore their weapons, as well as their sinister expressions, and hand over the letter.
It would seem you are telling the truth. And you only killed those who deceived us. I thank you for this.
The village elder signals to a woman, and a few moments later, she brings you food and a bag of gold.
Take this in thanks for your actions.
Hell yeah, son. We're the good guys. We get it done. We're out here making shit happen, Captain. So we got 6. We got, okay, so 242. All right. Sounds good to me. I'm going to have to take a little break here, though. Not in the episode, but I mean, I need time for my wounds to heal. So if we take the long way around, does that get my wounds fully healed? Are we almost done? 1 injury left. Okay. I just didn't want to walk into like a potential ambush or anything. If there was a chance we'd be in combat, I don't want to have wounds.
You approach the village and can tell even from far off that something isn't right. The smell of burnt wood and death is in the air.
Uh-oh. About to be throwdown time again. Man, we're getting all kinds of combat in. We're killing people on the weekly at this point. And not in singles either. I'm killing these dudes in droves.
The piggies have really shown those pointy ears. We couldn't have done it any better.
Stay alert. I want to find out what happened to Garen.
Garen's probably in here using all kinds of mage lasers and shit to wreck people up. If I was a wizard, I wouldn't take this lying down. I'd be eliminating dudes with a quickness. So there's dead folk over here. There's a painting.
The hand that painted this picture was that of a master. It is composed exclusively in shades of red, but every single little detail is painstakingly and precisely reflected. Trees, the remains of buildings, bodies. You hesitate.
This picture portrays the village in its state of ruin.
Examining the canvas more closely, you realize that it is actually made of skin, and the red paint seems more than suspicious now.
Yikes. Yeah, let's burn this bitch.
This is the most disgusting thing I have ever seen.
There we go. 25 XP for that one. Hell yeah. Because that's how we do. Why are the dead guys all glowy? Are they important? I bet they become zombies at any moment.
You have read about the elves and their buildings. This here had always just been a small example of their architectural skill, which achieved perfection in Alandur. Now burning and ruined, the pavilion makes an even sadder impression.
Hoofprints! Burned into the ground!
Alfar?
The fire in Boindill's eyes flares up with delight.
Huzzah! That would make a change from those stupid peggies. Did you hear that, brother? We might get to test our blades on Tion's pointy ears.
Green Glade was one of the few places in Girdlegard where humans and elves live together. You don't see any elven features among all the faces contorted with pain and fear. You look away.
And look away indeed. This will be the end of our episode. We will find out in the next episode of the Dwarves what has happened here in Alandur. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me as we take a look at this really cool little CRPG. I like what they've done with it. I like the way the combat works too. How it's a little bit like Dynasty Warriors where your characters are capable of like knocking tons of dudes around and stuff like that. Pretty cool. I will see you all in future iterations of the series. Please stop on by again. And with that said, check out the game down below in the description. Hi, I do everybody, and I'll see you next time.